Well, hello, Wales. And hello, you. I think we're the only two people wearing blue in this entire auditorium, which is a fabulous thing to see. It's like being in the same country and being in a totally different space. I feel sorry that I am sullying your Welsh language day with English, but I'll chuck in a wee bit of Scots if I can. I should say it's been a big week for us in Scotland because we got rid of the Earl of Inverness. Now, right enough, it wasn't too much trouble because it was only Prince Andrew. Who wants him? Nobody. You're going to have a wee bit more trouble getting shot of the Prince of Wales, but surely that's next. And while we're just talking about, people you don't expect to be at a rally like this, I think we should all say hello to the Unionist UK flag wavers that were here a minute ago. They've gone. Now, see, there's a few differences, actually, with the rallies that we have in Scotland. One is that they never go. We have a guy who is the silent Klansman, who stands with his back to everybody with flying the Union Jacks, trying to antagonise the independence campaigners because they know what story they'll get. And we've learned to just ignore them, keep marching, keep focused, keep arguing, keep campaigning, because we're going to get there, they're not. When we're talking about differences, though, I mean, it's a wee while since I've been on a march for independence that didn't start with the fumes of the Yes bikers up front, with the skirl of the pipes from Shore Alba up front, and rain, because it's Scotland after all, right? So this is different, and I've got to say, I am absolutely moved by the difference. Your language is a jewel. It's a jewel that you all hold. I've heard speaker after speaker, in the back, guys just getting the tech stuff ready, people speaking to one another, genuine, authentic cultural difference. It holds you. And that's an amazing thing. But what I just wanted to speak about today was beyond that incredible anchoring that you've got in your own culture, you are the right size for an independent country. And you have precedents across Europe that we should know about. Now, as was mentioned there, I'm a wee bit obsessed with the Nordic countries. My folk come from the very north of Scotland, kind of, bit Nordic. And we should know what normal looks like in the most successful democracies on earth. And it looks like your size. So, for example, language. Take that issue of language. That may seem, I'm sure that in England it seems like, gosh, you're just a small bunch of people that insist on hanging on to some language that's really gone. Really, monoglot countries are the exception across the world, never mind Europe. But the really successful ones, let's look at Norway. When Norway became independent in 1905, there was no argument about becoming independent. But there was an argument about language. They had four official languages. They still have 2. Language really, really matters. Let's look at another country I've just come back from, Finland. Now, Finland has got a language, let me just put this diplomatically, as hard as yours to get your head round. The other Scandies can't get a word of it. It is totally different. The way that you are totally different from the English-based languages and from even Scottish and Irish Gaelic. Finland is a country that nearly didn't exist. It was occupied for 650 years by Sweden. It was occupied for 100 years by Russia. It was nearly annexed into Germany. And today it is the world's best governed country. It has probably the best health and education service. And just listening to what was said earlier by one of the speakers with the Welsh name that has leapt out of my head, it has the best food security in the world. That's Finland. 70% of it is forest. A third of it is in the Arctic. That's what you can do when you run your own country and you're connected so strongly to one another because of your language. Let me give you one other place that you really, really remind me of. I don't know, has anyone been to Estonia? Right, go. Because there's a small country. It's got 1.1 million people. That's about a third of your country, right? Now, Estonia nearly disappeared into the Soviet Union. But the fall of the Berlin Wall, they were ready to go. They had always taught in their own language. They had a singing revolution. You might remember seeing the Baltic chain, people from all those Baltic states holding hands across 400 kilometers to say, we want to be free. But the Estonians, when they did, 1991, when they got independence, they had nothing. There was old people apparently eating grass. They were starving. And yet today, that country is now the Baltic tiger because they had the courage to let young people run their country. They had the youngest cabinet in the world at the time because they set aside everyone from the old regime. It was a new generation that came in, a new generation that saw digital possibilities, brought in computers and gave it not to the big high-hegians, but to the kids. They literally grew a digital generation that went on to invent Skype, Bolt, loads of the kind of things that we all use today. A tiny, tiny country of 1.1 million people who had been written off completely and had the weirdest language around. So, all sorts of stuff is possible. Final point on that. Because the Estonians, now, it's an extraordinary use of digital stuff. So, for example, it takes 1 minute to file your tax return. 2% of GDP is saved by being able to do online signatures. They have taken things to an absolutely nth degree, and that's because the people trust their government with information about themselves. The Brit card, the idea of an ID card here that everyone will buy into, it's never going to happen. And that's why we're actually being held back by a British state that needs to modernise, so desperately needs to modernise, but can't even kick first past the post into history. It's sitting with only one other country in Europe, that's Belarus. Well done. So if we want to move forward, we have to have trust in our governments, or we will be sitting like England with the splendid isolation, the looking backwards, the archaic systems, the reverence for traditions that didn't include us. We've got to get shot of that, and I know, we can do that. So, Scotland, we're ready to go. We've been ready to go since 2014, many of us, and we've never stopped. But what I'm seeing here, little sister Wales, you're giving us a run for our money. And it's great to see it. It's great to see it, the vigour of what you're able to do here. So May the 7th could be a big day. And that's one reason I came down. I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, not looking for the sympathy vote. You never get it, you never get it. And all the young mums here will go 4 o'clock in the morning. That's my normal, eh? But the reason that I am so excited about what you can do is because May the 7th could be utterly historic for Wales and for Britain. We could see Edinburgh, Cardiff and Belfast vote for parties that essentially want to end the United Kingdom. And whilst in Scotland we've had 2 independence majorities, we voted against Brexit very noticeably. You know, who actually noticed any of that? You can't push 3 Celtic capitals under the carpet. So when we have that moment, and this is where it's so important, all the Celtic countries together saying, this is not good enough. That whole process of independence, it opens your mind. It blows your mind. You see yourselves, you understand the country you could be. Look around you, chin up, Wales. Because you're the kind of country that can be Estonia, you can be Finland. You can join that kind of small country. And as was said earlier by Phil, it's really important for the world because small countries need small countries. We need more small countries. So anyway, I'm going to be watching and hoping and learning from you, as I hope lots of Scots will do, but all our love, all our respect to you from Scotland. There will be that day, Erin go Bra, Free Wales and Shore Alba. Thank you.